Okay, today we're going to start solving fraction equations through adding and subtracting. Remember, when we solve equations, what we do is we always do the opposite. Okay, an example would be, make sure you write this down. If I had x plus 1/4 is equal to 3/4, and I said to you, solve for x. What you should be thinking to yourself is, okay, I got fractions going on here, but it's still the same. It's still the same procedure. How do I move plus 1/4? Class, how do I move plus?
Minus.
Minus. I'm going to minus 1/4. If I minus 1/4 on this side, if I were to minus 1/4 here, I'm going to minus 1/4 over on this side. Okay? Now fractions, I don't really show it this way like I usually do for whole numbers because that looks super messy. What I do for fraction equations is I just show right away the next step would be x would equal 3/4, take away 1/4. Okay? It's the same procedure. It's saying that I'm going to cancel that out, and then I'm going to take this difference. And when I take that difference, I'm just going to show it horizontally, okay, because it looks neater. They have common denominators here, so this turns into 3 minus 1/4, which is 2/4, which is 1/2. And that's our first example. So I want you to notice the difference on neatness here. When I look at this one, that looks way messy. And when I look at this horizontal one, it looks a lot neater. Like I can follow along better with that. My eyes, when I look at this one, my eyes think that is way too much. I don't get it, and I want to shut down. And I don't want you guys to shut down. So really do it on the horizontally. We're going to do another example. And we're extending this a little bit. Okay? So I have x minus 5/6 is equal to 1/4. Remember, anytime we are dealing with fractions, we want to make sure to have common denominators. So that should be your first step. Make sure you have a common denominator. And anytime we're dealing with solving, we want to make sure to do the opposite. So you should always ask yourself, how do I move it? Do I have a common denominator? Okay? So I look at 6 and I look at 4 and I think to myself, what's a common denominator? 12 is a common denominator. You can either find your common denominator right away, or you can find your common denominator second. I don't know which strategy I like more. Maybe I'll do both, and you decide what you like to do, okay? So, if I find my common denominator first, then we're going to use what Kyle said, 12. 6 times 2 is 12, so 5 times 2 is 10. 4 times 3 is 12. 1 times 3 is 3. That looks really messy. I'm going to rewrite so I understand what I'm doing. This turns into x minus 10/12 is equal to 3/12. All right, there I can handle. I can handle it a little bit. When I go over here, if I were to, I suppose let's finish it, okay? If I minus 10/12, how do I move minus? Yeah, so the x is going to be 3/12 plus 10/12. Oh, this is getting good. 3 plus, which is equal to 3 plus 10/12, which is 13/12, which is 1/112. Those are always kind of my favorite. I love to, I don't know, I'm kind of a dork. I love to say which is. I just feel super smart. That was strategy 1, find the common denominator right away. Strategy 2 would be to find the common denominator second. Okay? If we found it second, I'm just rewriting the equation first. Then I would show that I'm going to move this by adding it. So this turns into x is equal to 1/4 plus 5/6. And then I find my common denominator. So my common denominator again is 12. 4 times 3 is 12, so 1 times 3 is 3. 6 times 2 is 12. 5 times 2 is 10. Rewrite it, x is equal to 3 twelfths plus 10 twelfths, which is 13 twelfths, which is 1 and 1 12. So those are your two strategies. You pick which one you like better. I'm not really sure which one I like better. I can go either way. Okay, we're going to do another problem, and I want you to practice this one. If I have, we're going to go x plus 3/7 is equal to 5/7. I want you to practice that one quick. All right, looking at this equation, we should see that x plus 3/7, in order to move plus 3/7, we're going to subtract 3/7. So right away, I just write x is equal to 5/7, take 3/7 away. They already have a common denominator. I don't have to find that. So this turns into 5 minus 3/7, which is 2/7. So I'm going to extend this a little bit, make it a little more advanced for us, our 7th grade knowledge. And I want you to solve this. And this is a little bit more advanced because you're dealing with negatives and you have to find a common denominator. So I want you to try this one. All right, looking at this, I see they have the different denominators. I'm going to go ahead and find the common denominator first. My common denominator is 18. 9 times 2 is 18, so 2 times 2 is 4. I'm just going to rewrite this because it looks really ugly. X minus 4 over 18 is equal to a negative 5 over 18. How do I move minus 4 over 18? I'm going to add. So x is equal to negative 5 over 18 plus 4 over 18, which is negative 5 plus 4 over 18, which is negative 1 over 18. That is our answer. Okay, we're going to extend this one more level. And what happens when our variable's on the left side? Let's say that I had 6 over 7 is equal to 6 over 7 plus w. Think to yourself, what can I do when something like this is occurring? Well, let me empower you with a strategy quick. Does anyone have any ideas? Alex?
You can flip it.
I can flip it. That means I'm going to take this side and I'm going to rotate it with this. I'm going to get my W over to the left-hand side because that's what I like. It works easier for me. And that's what I do. I utilize that strategy. So that means I have 6 over 7 plus W equals 6 over 7. Now you look at that 6 over 7. How do I move that?
You have to subtract.
I'm going to subtract 6/7. So W is equal to 6/7. Take 6/7 away. What am I at?
0.
I am at 0. Okay? Let's advance it a little bit more. And we're going to include some whole numbers. Let's say I had 3 plus, just kidding, let's do negative 3 plus x is equal to a negative 4/5. fifths. That's another advancement, another situation you'll find in your homework. I want you to go through and try to solve that. All right, looking at this, I have that whole number, the -3. I want to make that into a fraction so I can actually deal with it. How do I make -3 into a fraction? Abby? So I'm going to rewrite this as -3 over 1 plus x is equal to a -4/5. What I notice a lot of students like to do is find the common denominator right away. So my common denominator is 5. 1 times 5 is 5. -3 times 5 is a -15. Now I'm going to rewrite. -15 over 5 plus x is equal to a -4 over 5. Add to move the -15 over 5 so I get x is equal to -4 over 5 plus 15 over 5. Remember, I added because this is a negative, and the opposite of negative is positive. So this turns into -4 plus 15 over 5, which is -11 over 5. 5 goes into 11 2 times, and throw the negative out there. 1 remains, and 5 is the denom. So your answer should be -2 1/5. Your homework tonight is going to be page 260. Problems 6 through 20 even.